So we're here for the tour of the Minecraft Sandtray world. A little disclaimer before we start. This sort of event doesn't certify you to use video games or Sandtray therapy in your practice. Just you're responsible for ensuring that you're practicing within your competency and that you're complying with the professional standards that you adhere to. We're going to share links, but please don't download anything you are unsure about. And this is not an official Minecraft product. It's not approved by or associated with MOJANG nor Microsoft. And just some disclosures. I'm the director of Ellie Finch Counselling Consultancy and Training Limited, of which PlayMode Academy is a part, and I receive a salary for that role. And I'm a Minecraft ambassador, but I receive no financial compensation for this role. I just get to hang out with lots of Minecraft fans, which is really nice. A little bit about me. This is me in my in my lab with every device known to man that you can get Minecraft on. I'm a child parent and family counsellor and a social worker. I'm a consultant and trainer in using creative digital tools therapeutically. I'm also a clinical supervisor, and I'm really lucky to have been supported by 3 organisations that support people to set up non-profit social enterprises. Really in the early days, back in 21, I was supported by Cambridge Social Ventures, more recently by Unlimited, and they are actually responsible for the Sandtray existing because they funded this project. And now I'm being supported by Hatch, which is amazing. Starting up a non-profit is quite a hard job, and so I'm really lucky to have been supported by those organisations. I'm going to hand over to Dan so he can introduce himself, because without him, this world wouldn't exist either. So here we go, Dan. Oh, unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Ellie. It was wonderful working with you. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience bringing your vision to life. So yeah, my name is Dan Noble. I'm a Minecraft education consultant. So I do training, I do PD, I do workshops, and much of what I do is content building and creating. So yes, I was very fortunate to be able to work with Ellie here to create this Sandtray therapy world, and we did some really, really cool stuff, which I'm looking very forward to showing you. I'm also a Minecraft Education Ambassador. I'm very active on the Minecraft Education Teachers Lounge as a moderator there. So if you're familiar with the Minecraft Education Teachers Lounge on Facebook, I encourage you to join it. You can always answer or ask any follow-up questions there to me directly. All right,
Brilliant.
Ellie, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't sing Dan's praises enough. In the chat, you've got Dan, the Minecraft man being chanted. So that says everything. So here we go. Let's carry on. I'm going to speak for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to go into the Minecraft world and give you a tour, which we're really excited about. So I just want to say a little bit about my journey. Imagine me there with the purple hair. I always have this little purple haired character, but I was never cool enough to have purple hair as a teenager. But this is me in the 90s. In my bedroom playing video games, and I really struggled with social anxiety, and I didn't attend school. I was called a school refuser, as it was called back then, and I refused to have counselling, and I could have really benefited from what I offer now in my private practice and what more and more people are offering, which is therapy via video games like Minecraft. And I think I would have found that accessible and engaging. And so this is what drives me to do what I do. I show this image as well because what we're doing here is meeting our clients, children, young people, adults, families, where they are in their comfort zone. We're not expecting them to jump over this chasm to us. We are the counsellor or the practitioner in the red t-shirt, building the bridge to them and taking that responsibility to create accessible and engaging services. And I think this is why you're all here, which is really exciting. I've been shouting about my work for quite some time. You might have come across some of these articles. It's really exciting to have been in The Guardian recently and on the Minecraft education blog, and do check those out because I do sort of write some case material in there that you might find interesting. And just to flag up that I have a training program in using Minecraft as a therapeutic tool. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but I also have a free guide to accessing Minecraft education, specifically if you're outside the box in terms of you're not an educator as part of an education institution. It can be a little bit more tricky to access it, and so I've made this guide to help you, because I really um, feel like you to sort of Minecraft education offers some great assets to us as therapists and other practitioners. Um, I've got other trainings as well in using digital sandtrays and creative digital tools. But I want to say, why video games? This is the first point. Why video games, right? Well, actually, you know, they're huge. They've overtaken the book, music, and film industries, an estimated 3.24 billion. And I think this is out of date. It's probably more now. There's over, you know, probably nearly half the population of the world are gamers, and that takes all sorts of different forms: consoles, PC, but also mobile phone games. So video games are mainstream, and it's very likely that people that you work with, children, young people, and adults that you work with, are gaming and could find that offer from you really engaging. So what is Minecraft? Now, Minecraft is the world's most popular video game. It has over 180 million monthly players, active monthly players. It's hugely popular. I'm sure that's why you're here and you understand that. But it's a sandbox game, which means that it's this open world, free place to explore. You're not being driven along to complete levels or beat bosses. You're able to take in a sunset, go swimming, take things at your pace. And I think that's something really beautiful about Minecraft, and it really opens it up as an opportunity to be used therapeutically. I like to think of it as a sand tray plus Lego plus adventure, and that is a portal to another dimension that you can see there, which means, wow, you know, look what we can do in Minecraft. Um, if you don't know how it works, there's a creative mode and a survival mode. Those are the sort of two main modes, and in creative mode, you have this amazing inventory of resources and items at your fingertips that you can create with. You can fly, you can't die, the world is your oyster, you can have a great time. And there's also survival mode, which can have therapeutic benefits as well. But you have to fend for all your resources. You don't have an inventory of lovely items to select from. You can die, and you've got to look out for monsters, which you can turn off in the game. But yeah, it's a little bit more edgy, and that can also bring about relationship building and working together in the world. So. And I always want to highlight that it can feel a bit daunting if you're not used to Minecraft controls or you've never played it yourself. But actually, if you are thinking about using Minecraft in your practice, I always want to highlight that you can observe your clients play. You don't actually have to go into the game with them. You can observe them play like you would observe them make a sand tray, like you would observe them make a piece of art, or you can play together in the game, which is really amazing and fun. um, there's three main editions of Minecraft. There's two commercial editions, Java and Bedrock. So if you play it at home, or you've got people in your life that play Minecraft, they're probably on one of those editions. But there's also Minecraft Education Edition, which is trusted by schools across the world, and it has a much more locked down, secure kind of way of doing things, and that makes it much more appealing to me as a therapist. And although I use the commercial editions as well with clients, as long as they are already using them. Minecraft Education opens up a whole world of great resources and subject specific worlds that are pre-made, and social emotional worlds as well. And we're hoping we'll get the Sandtray therapy Minecraft world in there as well, in their library. So it would be irresponsible of me not to bring up data protection and security. This is a fun session, but I just want to give you a little moment of, hey, grounding here. We need to think about data protection and security if we're working with games, we're working perhaps online or with multiplayer games. In my level 1 training that I've mentioned earlier, I do go into this, and I also really recommend Catherine Nibbs's book. They're a practitioner's guide to cybersecurity and data protection. But we do need to think about making sure that our clients know the limitations of data protection when we're using commercial games like this. So we've got the level 1 self-study online course. I get really good feedback from it. People are going on into strength by strength after doing the level 1 and the level 2 trainings. I do the trainings in person and online. I've trained Kemp Hospice, for example, have gone on to win awards for their work using Minecraft and published an article, and it's really exciting. I find it really exciting. The whole point of what I'm doing with PlayMode Academy is building a non-profit that works on having an impact, and that means training people so that they can go on and work and engage with children and young people and open their world up to the support that you as a practitioner can offer. And so, yeah, it's been great. There's an impact page on the PlayMode Academy website, which I'd urge you to go and have a look at, where we've got case studies from organizations that have done the training. And I got a free event coming up. If you know parents that are baffled by Minecraft, if you yourself are still baffled by Minecraft, please do come. It's all about supporting parents to connect with their child through Minecraft, and it's a free event. So please do share that with whoever you think might benefit from that. Oh, I'm going to take a little breath and have a little bit of water and just check in with Dan, see if there's any questions coming up in the chat or anything that I need to address.
You're good, Ellie.
Brilliant. Am I talking too fast? I'm excited.
You're doing fine. You maybe slow down just a wee bit.
Okay, I'll slow down. I was like, oh, we've got to get to the tour.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. So now we're going to go into what is Sandtray therapy. Now, I know I'd like hands up in the chat. I'd be really interested to see. Oh yeah, we can definitely. I think Dan can share the link to the parent webinar. Ooh. Oh, that's a good question, actually. I was just seeing in the chat, someone's asked about what are the age groups currently most actively playing Minecraft. I think it's actually something like, is it 20? It's actually the younger adult age group, I think. Mm, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to Google it. But yes, thank you, Dan, for Dan's put the parent webinar link in the chat. And I'd love to sort of know in the chat, if you don't mind just saying if you're an educator, because I know some people have come from the education side of things, if you're a therapist, if you already use Sandtrays in your work. I'd love to know a little bit about in what context you work and what has brought you here. That would be so interesting for me to see. And while you do that, I'm just going to say, what is a sand tray? Well, I've got this lovely image here that my colleague Katie Basiri has let me use in my trainings, because it's such a beautiful image in terms of when you start seeing what the sand tray therapy world. Well, actually, you can see it. Here it is. You can see the similarities, right? We've really modeled how we've made this world on this sort of very classic, beautiful Sandtray therapy room with all the items on the shelves for you to choose from, like a smorgasbord of items there, and then you can bring them into the Sandtray, and it's a great non-verbal means of expression. You know, it doesn't rely on you being a great artist or skilled in any way. You can just, our clients can just to sort of be drawn to the items and the creatures that they're drawn to, and place them in the tray and start expressing what's going on for them. And I think that's the power of Sandtray. It's great to see. Thanks for putting all your backgrounds in the chat. It's brilliant. So we've got researcher, educator, in therapists, play therapists. Brilliant. Somebody doing the level 1 course. Brilliant. Geek therapists. Oh, so many people doing so many interesting things. And so I'm just gonna head on over here. Just a little brief history of Sandtray therapy. This is a picture of Margaret Lowenfeld. She's the person that's first started using Sandtrays. She developed this technique called the world technique, and from that, I'll show you the little very condensed history that does miss out a huge number of people. So I apologize for that. But we've got Margaret Lowenfeld there in 1929, whose work inspired Dora Kauf, who developed Sandplay. we've got Violet Oaklander and who use Sandtray and Gestalt child therapy. And actually, it's the Violet Oaklander website that hosts now a free 2D sand tray there that you can see a picture of. It's a lovely, really accessible sand tray that's just very simple, almost like a sort of PowerPoint style, but it's just, I've used that in my work. I'd have a check of that out. In 2011, Jessica Stone developed the virtual sand tray app in response to the earthquake and tsunami in Japan. And um and and that's been something that, you know, she was thinking about, how do you bring a whole sand tray and all these things to somewhere where you can't. How do you do that? Well, she developed the sand tray app on the iPad, and this is very portable, and I think that's really exciting, and that's led into a number of other digital sand trays being created, especially in the wake of COVID-19, and including our one. And I think it's really exciting to see all these digital sand trays being developed. And I also want to mention that there's also researchers using sand trays. So I think Dawn's here on the webinar. She and Dawn Manet and Vicky Templey have developed the sandboxing method of doing research using sand trays, and I find that really exciting. So do say hello in the chat if you're there, Dawn. And yeah, I just am really excited about this space, and highlighting all the people that are doing such incredible work in this space. It's interesting to think about digital versus physical sand trays and what we might be missing if we're using a digital sand tray. If you think about that lovely tactile manipulation of objects in sand, we're going to be missing that, and the water that we might be using. Um, but I'm neurodivergent, and I actually find some of these sensory things quite overwhelming, and I think that's quite a common experience of touching sand can be a bit difficult for some people. I think actually the digital can be a lovely alternative, a lovely thing that can actually bring something extra for some people. And I just sort of put a little fun slide here about why I use a digital sand tray. All of this is very hard to carry. When I first started using sand trays, I was working across different schools, and I was pregnant, and I was carrying all this stuff with me, and it was just too much. Sand tray, objects. So it can be very accessible and engaging to young people as well, especially. Great. Oh, someone's put stats in. Thank you. Players aged 15 to 21 account for 43% of the Minecraft user base. And the average Minecraft player is a 24-year-old male. Thank you very much. That's very helpful. I'm just going to take a little bit of water. So you keep popping any questions in the chat. So I just want to flag up, we can use digital sand trays in person, because it can sometimes feel like digital can only be online, but actually digital can be in person. So there's some kids demonstrating that, and obviously it can be used online. And I have created this digital sand tray online and in-person therapy training, and I want to flag up that there's two example sessions in the sand tray therapy world that we're about to show you within that training, and with some young actors, a family and a young man. And I've given you a discount code there, which I think Dan's going to put in the chat for you, for 20% off trainings. So if you want to explore this further and get more of a foundation in this, please do have a look at those trainings. And I want to also flag up that the reason why this came about is my early experiences of using Minecraft therapeutically with clients was, hey, hang on a minute, these worlds are huge and we can get really lost. And I've been finding ways to kind of create a containing space, because us therapists love containing spaces and safe spaces. And so I started using island worlds like the one here, so that you've got a nice sort of boundary to where you're working and you can't so easily get lost, or you can even just create a wall around a certain area in the world. But the next step on from that is Sandtray Therapy Minecraft World. Now we developed this about a year and a half ago. But it was born about a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and since then, yeah, yeah, and we've had over 300 beta testers. And before I sort of just bring up a little bit of feedback from them, I just want to say that this whole process, um, I was attending an event facilitated by Stephen Reed, and he showed us this what he described as a toy box world, and you could have this sort of open sand space. It was an Egypt world, so it was all sand. So my brain just suddenly was like, oh wait, hang on a minute, we can create this sand tray world in Minecraft. So I always want to say thanks Stephen Reed um, for his inspiration there. And we've had a lot of support and encouragement from Justin Edwards and Cole Phillips at Minecraft Education, as well as the funding from Unlimited to make this happen. Some feedback from some of our 300 beta testers who have been giving us practical feedback, and this is what we've integrated into the updates that we're going to show you today. But what we're seeing is that people are using it successfully with their clients, and it's really a lovely, like what I've described earlier, this bridge to our clients' worlds and their imaginations, and it really helps with access and working online. So that's lovely to see. So that's me with my presentation done. I'm going to stop my share, and I'm just going to check in with everyone. It's a lot to look at with the chat and everything. Fab. Okay. So,
Do you want me to start sharing the education world?
yeah, I'm just checking the chat to see if there's anything. But yes, please do get set up for our tour. We're ready, aren't we? I did you see? I don't think any. Oh, hang on. I don't think anyone sent me a gamer tag, so I think we'll stick with giving everyone a lovely leisurely tour of the Sandtray world together, Dan. And I think are you muted? What's
No, I
happened?
should
Oh,
be. I should
here
be
we go.
on.
Great, I can hear you now.
I'm just going to attempt to record
Oh,
the screen
brilliant.
here.
Thanks so much. I've given Dan lots of tasks. I've been WhatsApping him all day.
All right. I think we're good. You can take us through, Ellie.
Brilliant. Okay, so here we are. What we did, and I think this was your idea, Dan. I think it was a really good idea, was to have a little mini version of where we're going to be heading to kind of ease people in. So Dan made this lovely little mini version of the Sandtray therapy room that we're going to enter in a minute. So the larger version has all these features. It has the lamp, and it has the door and the chairs and the Sandtray table there with the shelves around it and the window. So it's all kind of easing you in and making it familiar. And as you can see, there's a lovely little welcome robot that we can go and talk to. And shall I read? I'll read through it, shall I? Shall I
Yeah.
read through it? Okay. So the robot introduces us to the world, really. And what you might find, and it's the same for me, is that these kind of dialogue boxes kind of get whizzed through quite impatiently because you just want to get on with playing, right? So but it's here, and it's here almost for us to kind of remind ourselves of what we're here for, and to help with our clients to kind of know what to expect from the world. But it just says welcome, and Sandtray is a special sandbox used in counselling and therapy to help people to show how they're feeling or what's happening in their life. In Sandtray therapy, you have a box with sand and lots of small objects and figures. And you can use these items to make scenes or pictures in the sand, and you can recreate anything you want in the sand tray. There's no right or wrong way to make a scene. Your scene can be real or from your imagination. And when you're ready, choose what material you want in your sand tray by pressing the button on the wall. And you can choose to fill it with sand, grass, snow, or leave it empty. After, you will go to the sand tray room, where everything is much bigger than this room, and you will arrive in the middle of the sand tray. The shelves above the sand tray have many items to choose from that you can use in the sand tray. and some of these items might look familiar, they are special, so they will stay where you put them, and you can choose different sizes for many of them. You will be in creative mode, so you can access items in your inventory and fly around the sand tray and the whole room. You will be able to place and break blocks in the sand tray, but not outside of it. Ready to start? Go through the door to enter the sand tray room. And before we do that, we go to the sand tray fill button on the right, there we go. And we will choose, its default is sand, so you don't actually have to do that if you want sand, which we will today, we'll have sand. And what happens is that button cleverly disappears, doesn't it, after you've gone through the door, so
That's correct.
you can't accidentally wipe the sand tray by filling it with snow or something. So we've done lots of safety features to make sure that your client's work is safe.
All right, we're ready to
We're ready to go
beam
through
in?
the door. We're going to beam in. So here we are in our larger sand tray room. And I think what I might get you to do is give us a little flying tour around so we can get our bearings. Is that all right, Dan?
Yeah.
But you can see there's the sand tray and all the items on the shelves. And if they don't seem there, it's because you're far away. As you move closer, sometimes they might not be showing up until you get closer and then they'll appear. And oh yeah, it's lots of lovely items. I'm thinking, oh, I should have been talking you through that. There's we've made a range of different coloured human-like figures. We've got different types of dragons. With those human figures, we've got speech bubbles up there. I think we just saw, yeah, they're up there. And we've got little robots that give you sort of tips as you go along. If you see a little robot, you can talk to them and they'll give you tips. We've got transport items, baby items, and these have been requested by beta testers over the last year and a half. We've tried to add in as many as possible. That sofa was actually suggested by my son. He wanted a sofa that you can sit two people on, so Dan made it happen for him, which is really nice. And we've got lots of familiar creatures that you'll know from Minecraft, but they all have had their kind of destructive characteristics removed, and they stay put so that they can be part of scenes rather than destroying scenes or moving away from them, which normal characters in Minecraft would do. So we've made it so that you can create scenes in the sand tray. We've got all the farm animals and some zoo animals. Zoo animals. I'm calling them zoo animals like they're not in the wild. That's really bad, isn't it? I'm thinking of pandas and they only exist in zoos, don't they? Or pandas. So, and if you just fly around the room a little bit and then we'll choose some items together, but you'll see this is a very familiar room, but you cannot build outside of the sand tray. So it keeps it in that containing space whilst giving you a little bit of a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type vibe where you're a little figure in a room.
My daughter actually contributed the painting.
Oh, yes. It's got little personal touches in here. So let's show them the sand tray itself. Go in and maybe have a little dig in the sand. So what's important about sand tray is that you can dig into it. We can dig right down to the bottom. We've got a blue bottom, which is very traditional to have a blue bottom to the sand tray. I don't know, it's quite far down, isn't it? So it'll take,
Yeah, I think we had about 10,
yeah.
maybe
And
more.
we've actually made the sand. And it'll be interesting to get feedback on this over time, but we've made the sand in Minecraft usually falls down, but we've actually made it so that it doesn't do that, so that anything that things that you put on top don't fall down. But actually, I think there's different sort of thoughts about that in terms of would it be interesting for the objects to fall down with the sand, and that's how it would be like in real life. And so we're still experimenting
Yeah.
with that sort of thing.
And you can't dig through the bottom of the table either.
No.
So we want to grab some items.
Uh, yeah, let's get so in the chat, does anyone want to tell me what you want us to grab? Just get some input from our lovely participants. Anything that you see that you want. I want one of those. I want a rainbow person. Dan wants a red robot.
Blue Yeti.
The car, that blue Yeti thing. The ice golem. Someone's saying not anything from the Christmas shelf, please, because it's too early for that. And someone else above that said Christmas tree. Oh, it's a fight for. um, so one of the cars. So yeah, someone's asked, is Minecraft education? Is this Minecraft education? And how did you make all those amazing objects?
So this is Minecraft Education. Minecraft Education is based off of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So most things that you develop for Minecraft Bedrock play relatively nicely in Education and vice versa, most of the time. So yeah, I used a number of different, generally free applications to help create this world, and also make all these custom entities as well.
Yeah, Dan's done a
So all
fab
of
job.
these are, yeah, sorry, all of these are built by me, with the exception of the vanilla Minecraft things. What I did there was I adjusted them. So as Ellie mentioned earlier, I removed any of their negative qualities so that they stayed put and like the creeper doesn't creep and explode on you. So that is one thing to keep in mind here. It's not necessarily a friendly creeper, but it's not going to do any damage.
Yeah, because we don't want what we've tried to do is make sure that people's scenes are protected as much as possible within the limitations of the game dynamics that we've got here. Um, so somebody else said the yellow dragon. Do you want to show us a bit about the NPCs and then we can go and get some more things in a bit?
Yeah, so all of these creatures are yeah, any of the creatures for the most part are NPCs, are non-player characters. One of the great things about Minecraft Education is when it introduced the NPC, it created this wonderful sort of fabric where we can create narratives and stories and relate information. So that's a really useful tool. So as you can see, if you point at them, it says that it's an NPC. So if I click on it here, there's nothing in here, but if I use a command, world builder /WB, I can come in here, I can change its name.
What should we call it? Oh, you're calling
It's
it Bob.
Bob the
It's
robot.
classic.
Um, and then we can just put in hi there. So when I click close and I turn off world builder again, now when I click on Bob, he's got something to say to me.
And we will be, but there's a guide, there's like a
Yeah,
guide document that comes along with the the world when you register. By the way, it's free. This is a free resource that we've provided for free. You can access the world via the playmodeacademy.org website via registering, and then you get a link to the Bedrock file and the Minecraft Education file because we've made it in Minecraft Education and Bedrock, not Java. Um, and we've got a guide document as well, which kind of gives you those little tips like go from editing one of these non-player characters um, to interacting with it and seeing what it's saying. So Dan's just shown us there. If you just, oh, you got the car, there's the person, and you can move the postures of the person because this is, if you're familiar with armor stands in Minecraft, this is kind of based on an armor stand. So you've got all the postures of an armor stand there. And with these guys, this rainbow guy, so you're going to go and get a speech bubble. Is that what
yeah,
you're going to do?
that's
I
exactly
can
what I'm
read your
doing.
movements.
Yeah.
With the little figures here, these multicolored figures, we've done speech bubbles, so you can give them speech via those speech bubbles because they just work a little bit differently from the other figures in the world. Oh, what is the opposite of a non-player character? You are the opposite of it. You are the player. So Dan is currently in the world as a character, as a player, and so
Player character.
he is a player character.
Yeah, PC for short.
Yeah.
So the
Good
speech
question.
bubble is the NPC in this situation. Anything can be an NPC. Could be an animal, could be a person, could be an inanimate object. Because armor stands aren't able to support the NPC behavior at the same time as an NPC behavior, we created these little thought bubbles so that you could put them beside any sort of object that isn't an NPC and give it a voice.
Brilliant. What should we say? Hi.
Keep it short and simple.
Fantastic. Um, someone says how long is needed to make one of these cool objects? How long does it take you to like make one of these bespoke objects, Dan?
It depends on what we're talking about here. So, the rainbow guys there, like I think each of them took about maybe about 20 minutes to create the general model and then the texturing that went with it. They were rather simpler ones. The thought bubble, there's a little bit of animation going on there. That was probably about an hour. But then you look at more complex created sort of entities like the car. Those are taken, typically a day for me to create the model and the texture. There's often a lot of research that goes along with it. So, and a lot of thought as well. Like, so Ellie had said, we'd love to have some cars and some vehicles in here. And we've actually got two different types. We've got a toy one, which will just sit there and stays kind of stationary. And this one, which we can actually get in and drive around. So we'll do that right now.
Yeah.
So we've even got an interior. You can see the 8-track deck off to the side there. The gear shift, the steering wheel turns. We've got the heat and vents in there.
Dan has
Um,
had fun with
you
this
poke in
car.
the window. I'm very detail oriented. So things like this, yeah, they will take typically at least a day, maybe 8 hours or more to create. Depending on, again, the texturing, how dense I want the pixelation on it. But Ellie asked for a car, so I went with a 1970s car. I find modern cars don't have as much personality. 70s cars, I always felt like they had more personality. So I did definitely go with that
And
kind of feeling
and
for the
and
car.
actually the
Yeah.
vehicles were suggested by I think our some of the therapists that have been trying this out, thinking about what the young people they work with would like to see, and we'd like to grow this, and that comes down to funding but also getting feedback. So if you find yourself exploring the world later and you have some thoughts and ideas, please do email me with those, because I'd really like feedback, as much as possible, really, about what other items would be really helpful to see in this world in the future, and also just to hear stories about how you're finding it, and whether you're feeling like that this is helpful in your practice and enhancing your practice. That would be really lovely for us to hear. um got the tractor. We haven't tried out the plane, and someone also
Oh,
wanted to check out the dragon. I definitely saw that.
okay.
And someone has actually put in something that we've really got on our minds, which is about other religious celebrations beyond Christmas. That's definitely on our to-do list, and thank you for for raising that, because the Christmas stuff is there because Dan had that already at his fingertips, and we thought we'd put in some Christmas items which have been really popular. But yeah, I would love to be including more religious celebrations, items from religious celebrations, and also, yes, a wheelchair. Um, Brilliant. Um, mm. I don't think the car follows a Minecraft track. I think it just can go where it wants to go.
That's right. It can
Yeah,
it's
someone
purely a
asked about that.
drivable vehicle. The plane does fly as well. Actually, let me change point of view. There we go. And we're off and flying. And it does fly outside of the bounds of the sandbox. Gives us a nice sort of overview.
I like it. It's quite relaxing flying that plane and kind of falling down to the to the ground again.
Oop, I've lost track of where I am. There we go. Going for a landing. There we go.
And the other things to think about, I think maybe if you could grab the house, Dan, we could talk a bit
Oh yeah.
about building and what's possible with building, and sort of highlighting the inventory is still there.
Hmm.
Um, and yes, are there sound effects? You will have do the items. I always have the sound off because I get so distracted by the sound, but the items have natural sounds, or are those removed as well? That's a good
Um,
question.
Typically they'll have the sound that was associated with whatever the base creature was for designing it.
Yeah.
So while it is possible to create custom sounds for Minecraft, developers don't always update the sounds because that means you have to go and do a lot of Foley work to potentially support it or find public domain stuff that's available that you could use. So for example, if you do drive around in the trucks, and most of the, I think I find that a lot of the library vehicles that are out there, it's the trotting of hooves. So if you drive around the bike or the tractor or whatnot, or the plane even, it's a hoof noise. What I would like to do eventually at some point is do some Foley work and capture some other sounds and then import them in so that we have, the associated sound that you have with something with what it is represented with in Minecraft.
And someone's asked about how, is there a limit to how many of these items, these non-player characters that you
Nope.
could put in the sand tray? There's no limit, is there? You can fill
Nope.
it, fill it,
Hmm.
fill it. So yeah, there's really no limitation in that way. And what we've also done is kind of built a prefabricated house so that it's very simple to just have a house, a building in the space. But you can also go into your inventory, Dan, and just show them that oh, you're
Yeah.
deleting the house and um and go and show them that all the blocks that you'll be
Hmm.
used to having are there, and you can, oh yes,
That's
you're
right.
building what you're doing is you're building the foundations for the items, aren't you? So you can put the house.
Yeah.
um so they're all there. You can build, and you can have water buckets. So if you can create water in, like, water lakes or ponds in the space by digging holes and pouring water in, or lava. um We've made it a bit harder to do things like make portals because we wanted to provide that containing space. But yeah, you can create a house very easily with this prefabricated house, or you can build your own buildings and do whatever you want within this sandbox. Um, yeah, so someone asked, are you able to save a client's Sandtray so they can go back to it? Absolutely, yeah. So what I do is I create a new copy of this world for each client that I work with, and when they've used it, I date it with that session, or that session number and the date, and that becomes the saved copy of that session's work. And we can then go back to that and develop it more. It's quite a good idea to copy the world, so you've got the um, that session. Session one is always, you could always go back to session one if you wanted to. It's kind of interesting working digitally, because if something got destroyed, in theory, if you've done all this backing up and copying, you can go back to previous sessions work. For good or bad, as a therapist, you might feel like actually the work is to repair the rupture or the destruction that happened. That's going back is a bit cheating, but we do have so many options with working digitally, which can be quite exciting, I think. That was a really good question. Um,
Yeah, it's important to back up your worlds, particularly for therapy sessions. If you had each session, I would actually probably back up each section
yeah,
individually, put in like a version number or a
that's what
date,
I
like you
do.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I recommend people do, because I think it just helps to have that sort of record of what's been happening and where you've come from. And if a client does ever want to go back to a previous sessions version of it, then you can, which is really
Hmm.
amazing. Oh, we got like a two-headed dragon. Is that two?
Yeah, I
Become two?
think
Is there two in one
it
there?
placed two over
Two at
top
this.
of each
That's
other.
quite
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
we
so
go.
there's the dragon. There's a special speckled dragon.
Let's grab the
I
couch.
lay the sofa, yeah. So I've tried this out. Two people can sit side by side on it, which I really love.
Yeah, let's do that. There we go.
Yeah, there you are. There's something very satisfying about that.
Yes, yes, there is. Let's go back there.
So I'd love if you put in the chat. I'd love any more questions, but also just any initial like thoughts about this, about how you might use it in your own work. Any thoughts that are coming to mind? I'd love to see them.
That's a good question from Scott.
So yeah, you were selecting items from the shelf, putting them in the sand tray. And your question, is that related to like sand tray therapy work, or what you could do in Minecraft, what's possible in Minecraft? Because I see those are slightly different. I don't know if you can clarify your question for me, and then I can. can answer. But with Sandtray therapy work, you would encourage and invite your client to select items from the shelf and create a scene. And it might be from a kind of prompt like, show me what it's like at school, for example. And they can then create a scene, or they might just want to just start creating and not have any prompt at all. People work in different ways because people have different types of Sandtray training, that have different approaches and ways of working. And this is really a tool that people from all different kind of backgrounds and approaches can adapt to their own use. And we're not kind of saying this is how you use it. The examples I give in the digital Sandtray training I mentioned is very much like, these are examples. This is a way of using the Sandtray, but not the way. Everyone has a different way and a different approach. Dan's very skillfully making a little house there. And Dan's just showing you can build, you can, if you give this to a young person, they will do things that you can't imagine really with it, like doing something really quite unique with it. And that's what's so exciting, is that you give people the space to be creative with these tools, and they'll come up with all sorts of unique ways of using it, that as a therapist is really helpful to see what they do and how they express themselves in the world. Just got
Yeah,
another
I'm just
question.
sort of quickly demonstrating based on your suggestion there, Ellie. So like we do have all these custom entities, all these great cool things that you can use to create stories and tell a narrative about your therapy journey. But it's also supporting traditional Minecraft building in creative mode. So if you wanted to build a wee village or a pond or
Mm.
a wee boat or something like that, or you know, you want to make something. So here I built a wee schoolroom very quickly, just part of one, right? So again, it's still got
It's
that
great.
Lego element of Minecraft where you can build
Yeah.
exactly what you want, and it's about populating that with the different entities
And
in there.
Dan helpfully's made a one of the items is a school desk, which is brilliant.
Yeah, we actually
um
have a couple of school desks.
yeah, got different types, old fashioned and newer, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just looking at some questions here. How oh 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 oh. um Scott's asked about how much freedom would players have changing their avatar's appearance in this mode. I know, Dan, they've recently updated Minecraft Education so that you have more freedom with your character's appearance, haven't they? And you've done a video about that.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, Minecraft skins, you can make your own. There are a number of different utilities out there that you can do that with. One of them is called Blockbench. There's both a downloadable version and a web version. It's a brilliant program. It's mostly actually it's the one I use a lot of. Like I spend most of my development time in either Minecraft or Blockbench, but 50-50 at this point. And Blockbench is exciting and as fun to play in as Minecraft is really. But yeah, you can make your own skins
Show us
quite
your
easily
is your
with
skin
Blockbench.
your skin made by yourself? Is your yeah?
Yeah, so
That's a
that was
custom
yeah.
skin.
If I go escape,
Because
I go
just to,
to my
just
coat
to say what
hanger.
we mean by that,
Yeah,
this is Dan's skin. This is the way his character looks. He's designed that himself and added it in. So that's
that's
really
another
cool
one.
thing. You can do it in Bedrock as well, but you can now do it in Minecraft Education, which is really exciting.
Hmm. Yeah, and I do have a video on my website, or
Yeah,
sorry, my YouTube channel on
yeah,
how to step by step go through that
which is
process.
brilliant. I have flagged that up on my LinkedIn as well if you
It's a
can't
really
find
great
it.
way for kids to stretch their artistic muscles, but also make representations of themselves, which I think is really important.
I think someone's written about thinking. I'm just going to read this and make sense of it while I read it. 'Cause, thinking about how much you can play with psychological distance. A client could walk around the sand tray, which I imagine could potentially be more activating, or back up to view the whole tray like you would a physical sand tray. Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually interesting because you can actually, at the moment, you can see that Dan's a character. You can see his right arm basically with an object in it in that bottom right corner.
Hmm.
If you were to press is it F1? You can kind
Sorry?
of, Dan, if you were to
Oh,
press F1, you kind of take away the idea of you being a character in the game. You kind of take away that I've got a hand element, and it becomes sort of you're more just viewing the world. I think it's interesting how you can have different views. I think that's the point of this
Hmm.
what Elijah's saying is that you can then take different stances and look at the scenes that you've made in different ways and interact them with in different ways. And obviously, Dan's in this world on his own at the moment, but you can go in as a client and a therapist. You can go in with multiple clients. So you could go in with a family, you could go in with a group of young people, and you could use this with in a multiplayer experience as well. That's just highlighting that as well.
I think we've got about 5 minutes left.
Oh, it's gone quick.
Hmm.
Any last minute questions or thoughts? We'd love to hear from you. Um, I have no, someone's written here, I have no Minecraft experience, so I'm wondering what to do with all this. Maybe an illustrative case study of how you use it for therapy. I work in international development and humanitarian relief, which involves engaging stakeholders to design and steer interventions. Oh, really interesting. Yeah. Um, um, as mentioned earlier, I have recorded two counseling sessions, with one with a young person and one with a family, a mother and daughter, and to show how you can, what's potentially possible within this world, but it's not by all means the limit of it. So yes, I think it's really exciting how this can be picked up and used by people in different professions, with different working with different clients and in different ways. And I'd really love to hear from you if you start using it in different ways. I really would like to know how this is being used, because obviously we've poured our hearts into this over the last year and a half, and we've made it a freely accessible resource. So we really would love your feedback. It would warm us to hear how you're using it. um, Someone said, it's a wonderful idea. I can really imagine it helping to engage with some of the young people I work with. That's great to hear. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Well, I hope that's given you all a flavour of what's possible, and given you inspiration to think about how this can be used within your own practice, within your own settings. Please do keep in touch. If you think of a question later, you can always email me. I'm here. I like getting emails, so I do respond. So do get in touch with me. Um, People are just saying nice things in the chat. Oh, can you auto generate villages? Wow. Um, we we we've got the house, so you could kind of make a village by just planting lots of houses in, I would say. Um, um, and so people saying it looks great. Crazy that's available to try for free. That's amazing. Um, and yeah, people saying it's lovely to see it in person. We're really so grateful for so many of you to come and spend an hour with us to explore this. That really is so heartening to have been able to do this with you, and do it live. So thank you so much for coming along today, and please do keep in touch with us. What have we? Are we going to put our? Have we put our little contacts in there? Let's put our little contact details in there. I'll put that free webinar. I've put a few things in the chat here for the last few minutes, so people can just click on some links and keep in touch with us. Fantastic. Oh, and someone who has seen it, the original, says, which is really nice as well, the things you've added since the first showcase are looking great. Thank you. Yeah, we've worked hard on it since the first beta launch of it. So thank you for that. Brilliant. Fabulous. Well, feel free to go. I think it's probably afternoon in America. It's definitely evening here, so feel free to go now and have a lovely rest of your day. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Cheerio.
everyone.